Hello Virgo, Jessica here with Cardinal Signs. I hope that you're doing well. For this reading, we're going to be taking a look at the general messages and energies for the first half of October. We'll follow that up by taking a look into the crystal for any additional messages that you may need to know. And we'll conclude the reading with a look into love and romance for both yourself and your partner or potential partner. So let's begin. This is for Virgo, general messages and energies for the first half of October. What does Virgo need to know? Messages and energies for Virgo. Okay, so this is your overall energy here. We have the Seven of Pentacles, patience. We also have the Chariot, awareness, with the Ace of Swords, consciousness, the Empress, creativity, and the Page of Swords, fighting. Okay. So a fair bit of fertility just off the bat. We have the Patience card and the Empress, creativity, both of which are very, very creative, fertile type energies that help to bring in new ideas, new visions, new life, all that kind of stuff. So this overall energy is definitely talking about timing. It's about honoring divine timing. It's about accepting that we can't always have everything instantly. So this is about having patience, knowing that good things are worth waiting for, and knowing that we have to let things unfold very naturally in order to get the full benefit from them. This can also be an important lesson that you're working through at this time. Patience is a difficult lesson, but it is probably one of the most beneficial things that we can work towards. Now you have awareness, which is a very fast-moving energy. So it looks like things are probably going to start off slow, or perhaps this is more energy that you're coming from, so you've been waiting for quite some time, and now things are going to start moving very quickly. We have the Chariot, and we have the Ace of Swords. These two cards paired together are talking about some significant truth being revealed to you. The Ace of Swords is all about the truth coming to you. This can be through inspiration or some other means of gathering information, but some kind of revelation. There is a little bit of surprise surrounding this information. It may be very different from what you had expected. Or perhaps it comes to you suddenly and it's perhaps shocking to you, or just kind of throws you off your feet a bit. But however this is coming, it's coming very, very quickly, and things will begin to change fast after that begins. So this will be an interesting flip, because we're coming from very slow and steady to suddenly things speeding. It may be overwhelming, but ultimately I think you're coming from a place of poise, so you should be able to handle this well. I think you've prepared for this on some level. Now we also have the Empress, creativity, paired with fighting, and I feel like you're fighting for your ideas, your opinions, and just your creativity, like the freedom for you to be a creative, expressive individual in your own right. It's almost like you're going to have to fight for that for some reason. It might not just be a given that you can have it. So, for example, in the work arena, this could be you having to, create within a box, because that's what your work environment expects of you, whether it's your boss or the project or whatever it might be. And it's almost like you have to really make your case for allowing yourself a little more wiggle room when it comes to your creative expression. On the other hand, this could also indicate that there is a conflict around you with at least one, perhaps two other people, and you're going to be coming up with a very creative, calming, and soothing solution to this. So you're bringing in this wonderful, calm, grounded energy to this kind of chaotic entanglement between you and one or two other people. And it's really going to help heal this conflict. So you're coming in here with this very mature, wise, feminine, grounded energy, and it's going to serve you very, very well for these next 2 weeks. So I see you doing very well. As an earth sign, you're going to feel very stable and settled within yourself, because these kind of energies suit you very well. They're a very good match for who you are. I'm going to take a look into the crystal and see if anything else wants to come out regarding that for Virgo. I'm seeing something breaking the horizon, and the perspective that I'm being given, this is fairly widespread. Whatever's coming towards you right now, it's going to affect multiple areas of your life. And I do think that you have an idea, like you at least know that something's, coming towards you, something that you've been waiting for. You, of course, may not know exactly how that's going to look, but I think you have an idea that that's happening. I'm being shown that you have the right tools for the job. It's going to take a fair bit of work. It's not necessarily going to come easy. It's being shown that this is more like a physical labor, but that's not going to be the case for everybody. This is more figurative, I'm sure. But I'm actually seeing kind of like a gardening / farming scene where you have kind of like a pitchfork or spade type of tool and like turning over the earth, getting it ready for another planting, that kind of thing. So there is definitely this very fertile new energy, and preparing yourself, preparing your environment to welcome something new in. Okay, I'm seeing that you might get spooked by something. It's like this is being tied with this Chariot card. It's like something might, because it's very sudden and the way that it pops out at you, it can shock you, startle you, spook you, all of those kind of things, where you're taken aback and your energy feels kind of shaky and unsettled. So just be aware of that. Really work on making sure that you're grounded for these next 2 weeks, and feeling very calm and steady, because that will help you to kind of take this information that's going to be coming to you, take that information in stride. And not let it rock you. This doesn't mean that it's bad information. Like I said, we're dealing with truth. So that is ultimately very, very good. And it looks like you're able to use that with a creative spin. So it's just that the way that you're receiving this information may unsettle you. So just be aware of that. Really focus on grounding yourself. And I'm going to move on now to your love reading. Let's see what's in store for you and your partner or potential partner. So this is for Virgo, for love and romance. What does Virgo need to know for the first 2 weeks of October? Love and romance. Okay, so your overall energy, you have the Star, beautiful. And you have the King of Swords with the Four of Cups. Okay. Your partner, and I'm just going to push these over a little bit. Your partner's overall energy is coming in with the High Priestess, the Page of Swords, and the Eight of Swords. Okay, so to start off, both of you are coming in with your overall energy very strong, very confident, very self-assured. Also with a very kind of spiritual intent behind it. So you may be really focused on your connection with spirit and your spiritual connection between you and your partner. These two cards in particular, I mean, this is a really great pairing. It's showing that you and your partner are going to be on the same page and really be able to relate to each other in a way that's going to help a lot, whether it's communication, whether it's, you know, the subtleties of the relationship, you know, non-verbal communication, and the little things that you do for each other to show that you care. That's really going to be coming through strongly for you. Really beautiful energies, very connected, both to spirit and connected to each other on a very deep spiritual level. If this is somebody new for you, there's going to be like an instant connection. If you're meeting this person or if you're recently with them, things go very, very deep between the two of you, and I'm sure that both of you are more than aware of that. Now, interesting energies below, so really good, strong overall energies, but a few things for us to work through here. So you, for some reason, are coming up here a little bit bummed out about something. You've got the King of Swords and the Four of Cups, and together this kind of energy is very withdrawn. It's actually a little bit, you know, kind of sulky, almost like you're trying to process things and think things through, why something didn't quite go your way or why a particular situation isn't working out the way that you thought it was going to be. So there's potentially a little bit of disappointment that you're working through. This is not like a heartbreak type thing. This is just something probably more in the way that you were envisioning things to be, and the way it's turned out is different, and you're having to come to terms with that. So that's just some little energies that you might have to be working through for the first half of October. Now your partner or potential partner, I think the way that they're coming in here, it's almost like they're too open, too vulnerable. And it's good to be open and vulnerable, but they have to make sure that they do it, you know, with caution and to an appropriate level. And with them, I get the sense that they are such a nurturer. They have a very, very kind, gentle, nurturing spirit where they really feel compelled to help people. They're probably very empathic. You know, the way they're coming in here with the High Priestess and the Page of Swords, very intuitive, very empathic. However, it's causing a little bit of problem for them. They have the Eight of Swords here, and it's almost like they're giving so much of themselves and they don't know how to balance that out. So they may feel like they're running dry, or they may feel like they're being pulled in so many different directions because of all the other connections that they have with other people. And it's really causing them to feel run down, a little bit lost. And now this is the card of feeling trapped and not realizing why or how they got into this situation. So your partner needs to work on maintaining appropriate boundaries in how they relate to other people, in how they offer their energy to other people. So they have to learn the fine art of how to like shield themselves when it's appropriate to do so, so that they don't get depleted, because there are certainly many people out there who will take and take, but they don't necessarily reciprocate. So your partner seems to be struggling with that balance. So you coming in here with the Star is indicating to me that you will probably have some kind of wise piece of information that may be coming in through spirit, whether you realize it or not, on how your partner will be able to balance themselves out in this way. Because if they are, spiritually being depleted, like their energy, their vital energy, it's going to reflect very strongly in them, and it will have an effect on the relationship, which is why we're seeing this right now. So it's important that we address that as gently as possible, but it's also fairly urgent, because you can think of it as like a glass, and it's got a hole poked, or a lot of holes poked all in it, and it's just leaking, but it's never being replenished. So they're going to be feeling very, very low energy, and I think they're going to have a bit of a challenge on their hands on how to kind of fix that imbalance. They will be able to. They're coming in here as very in tune with spirit, very much receiving a lot of guidance, and so are you. So together, I think you can put your heads together. If this is resonating with you and you see this in your partner, where they're very low energy, or they give so much of themselves, and they either don't take the time to replenish themselves, or the people they're giving to are never giving back to them, then I think it's time to put your heads together and come up with some kind of concrete solution that they can put into place to kind of help protect them, and their energy, because it's quite precious. So you want to make sure they are feeling their best, and so do you, because you may run into this issue if your partner is constantly drained and depleted on an energetic or spiritual level. Then they may start having to rely on you, and we end up having a little bit of an imbalance within the relationship, and that could lead to some trouble down the road. So we want to make sure we get this sorted out as soon as possible. That way things can kind of get back to feeling good again. And that's everything that's coming up here through these cards. So I'm going to draw the reading to a close at that. So I hope that this reading was helpful for you, Virgo, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in a personal reading with me, you can find my email in the description box below. So I will see you again in a couple weeks for the second half of October, and take care of yourself until then.